20 judges,
2 days,
13 categories,
39 cars.
and 15 various tests.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Cars.co.za Awards.
Sanmonani Dumelang, how's it? My name is Jacob Mushokwa and I have the pleasure of telling you guys about the executive SUV category. So, it is of course all about the Cars.co.za Awards, and I have in front of me executive SUVs. We'll start off on this side. This is a BMW X3 30e. Here we have a Mercedes-Benz GLC 300D, and of course this side we have the Lexus NX 450h Plus. Now, the really cool thing about all these cars is there's a bit of hybrid technology for each and every one. The BMW and the Lexus are actually plug-in hybrids, while the Mercedes-Benz is a mild hybrid. Now let's get into the BMW. It is the new kid on the block. It's actually manufactured literally down the road from where we are. Roslyn, Pretoria, aka Soshanguve, aka Watsiba Bosso. In fact, I'm gonna start with this car. Let's get into it. So, you're getting a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder PHEV. So you're getting 220 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque. It comes with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. The gearbox is that good that you don't actually feel it switching gears at times. But because it's got paddle shifters, and if you want to obviously go into a sportier mode, it's a great way to enjoy the car, specifically because it is an M Sport after all. The BMW is definitely a luxurious car, and it shows you how the brand X3 has grown over the years. But this particular 30e is right for the businessman or the corporate guy who's climbing that corporate ladder and has literally got out of the 240 or even got out of a 235. Maybe they're looking for something a little bigger. This is something you'd look at. But how the car feels is smooth. I definitely want to attach the word smooth to this car. Now I've got some serious bumps here that I'd like to take this car through. So this is generally what we call a suspension test, where we feel out the suspension of the car. Wow. This is really cool. Hey? This is unbelievable. And the reason why I say that is because there's not a lot of rattles. There's not a lot of uncomfortability on the car. I was driving at 24 kilometers an hour and it felt quite good. It absorbs everything quite well. So the car is priced at 1.3 million rand. And what are you getting for that? So you get a 2-year unlimited warranty on this car, and then you get a 5-year 100,000 kilometer maintenance plan. But if you're buying a car like this, you're thinking about the environment, you're thinking about going green, you're thinking about a minimal carbon footprint on the planet, right? So here's some exciting news. These guys claim 1.1 liters per 100 kilometers on this car. That is very impressive for a car like this. The Lexus is on the same trajectory. And I think the car that is obviously not necessarily on the same page as this is of course the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300D. But because that's a mild hybrid, it is going in the right direction. And to have a diesel that's a mild hybrid, I mean, how cool is that? I gotta say that this BMW is definitely going to impress. And the fact that the pricing of this particular car at 1.3 million rand is perfectly priced, because people who are looking for executive SUVs have a bit of Tom. They have a bit of chankura to spend. And this specific car in the range is cheaper than the others. I'm very, very, very curious to see how well this car is going to perform when it comes to sales. But the fact that it's produced locally, I think it's going to keep the price just right. And now, in the cabin of the BMW X3, I'd like to start off here. Really cool lighting patterns here. And then here, this is where we control our memory seats. Easy touch of a button. And then I can lock and unlock my doors here. And funny thing is, to open the boot lid, it is here on the door instead of down here or somewhere else, or even here. Great place to put it. Steering wheel, straightforward as we know it. New BMW M emblem there because this is of course an M Sport model. Infotainment system is integrated with the digital driver display. Very curved, very modern BMW. Now coming here, this is where I might have an issue with some things. Directing the air vents is a bit of an issue. To get used to this is a problem. Not really a fan of that. And of course, switching on the aircon and switching it off and doing your demister, etc. It's all like a touchy-feely button. Even the hazards are involved there. I don't like that. It should have been like real buttons. The cool thing about this car is it does have two USB-C ports, and there's a wireless car charger and also a holder for your cell phone here. So you can have the driver's phone and the passenger's phone held there. Two cup holders, of course, and there's this like triangle here in the center with an M. I think it's a bit of overkill in my opinion. Would have been cool if this closed as well, but it doesn't. That's just me being me. This is of course an easier way to control your infotainment system, everything from nav to telephone, your media, volume control as well. Love the fact that there's a proper something to control the volume control, and it's not done here or done only on the steering wheel. This is of course your gear shifter, which I'm still getting used to. And then here we've got our center console with a bit of storage, got my cell phone in here as well. And if you have your aircon on, you can cool it in here. And then of course we've got these really nice looking seats. They've of course got the extenders, and the seat belts have M stitching just to add more to that M Sport touch of the car. And it also has a panoramic glass roof. And the reason why I say that is because it's just for you to let some light in. This is just for aesthetic. It doesn't open at all. That's a bummer. Now it's all about the back seat, of course. We need to know what's going on in here. Lacquer legroom, enough headspace. Privacy curtain to say goodbye to the haters. Harman Kardon sound system. A bit of storage here on the doors. Armrest with two cup holders. A real middle seat belt. Down here, the nice thing is you can control your own aircon. It can be cold here or cool in the back, and it can be piping hot in the front. Everybody does their own temperatures. That's a really cool factor. There's two USB-C ports as well, so no fighting with the kids. Straightforward net here for a bit of storage. Here's a nice touch as well. This here allows you to mount your tablets or TVs for the youngsters on a long road trip. That's very cool on the car. And you can close it and it looks like it's part of the car. I know with a BMW XM, for instance, this is where you have the USB-C port. So I like that they've kept the cars the same, uniform on how they look on new BMWs. Yeah, that's the back, done and dusted. Headrests are hard. That's about it. Yeah, we're done. And now we're driving the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300D 4MATIC AMG line. This car costs 1,589,000 Rand. Who would have ever thought in the year 2024, 2025, we would be spending almost 1.6 million Rand on a GLC Mercedes-Benz? Well, this is what's currently happening in this life right now. Let's first and foremost start by talking about what you're getting for that price. And I think it is important to mention, Because out of the other cars in this category, you pay that amount of money and you are getting a 2-year unlimited kilometer warranty on this Mercedes-Benz. Power up front in this 2-liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder motor is 550 Newton meters, 215 kilowatts of power. I think it's well built and it drives pretty good. The car is spacious. The car has a quality feel to it. It's a very good offering overall. Minimal road noise, nice and sound in the car. The only thing I am hearing now and again is when I press the accelerator. I can sort of hear that diesel rumble in the background, but it's refined. It's not too loud. But the fact that it's 4MATIC means you can do some light off-roading. You don't want to go too hard on this Mercedes-Benz, but I could easily do a trip to the Kruger National Park with a car like this. All the other cars, because of the plug-in hybrid technology, they average very low liters per 100 kilometers. But with this car, because it's a mild hybrid, you're getting an average of 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. But I think over the long run, I feel as though this car could even get lower numbers. Now, let's feel it on a rough terrain. Oof. It's definitely a lot smoother than the BMW. Let me take the speed up a little to 20. Oh, this car is softer. Oh, it's very soft. And the good thing about it is, just like the BMW, there's not much rattles in this car. There really isn't. This is very impressive. Hey Mercedes, open sunroof.
I'm opening the sunroof.
Hey Mercedes, close sunroof.
You can close the panoramic sliding sunroof using the elongated switch panel in the center of the overhead control panel. To do this, swipe forward over the switch panel.
I know how to do it. Why are you lazy to do it? And now for the driver's side of the GLC 300D. The thing that you notice immediately in this car is that the steering wheel does have a lot of buttons. So compared to the BMW X3, is what they've done was take everything that you have here on the BMW X3, for instance, and load it all on the steering wheel, from cruise control to volume control to controlling your infotainment system and everything else you need to control on your digital driver display. Now, I like the design on the car, specifically how you got the piano black and the silver. Very cool contrast. This is also where you do your memory seat setting, and of course where you do your heated seats as well. And then coming here to the rest of the car, there is something that is quite an eyesore, and it's this pinstripe plastic feel. I really don't like it because it's the only part that doesn't complement the black and silver of the car. And then when it comes to controlling the air vents, this is a definite favorite of mine because it's easy to control the air vents, it's easy to direct them, etc. You can blow cool air quite easily, unlike the BMW. The only problem is people with OCD would want them a certain way. You can't have one this way and one that way and one this way and that way. You want them all to be the same. Gosh, I got OCD maybe. Big infotainment system on this car as well. Everything is controlled here, including the climate control. Now that's one thing I don't like. I prefer buttons for climate control and not for you to control it here. Now there are other things you can control here. It's not really a touch, it's one big button, but you can touch this one big button. This is where you control your dynamic mode or eco mode when you're driving the car. The hazards are a real button, and of course you can do volume control also with a slide versus a proper knob. Now here's one cool thing about the car. This storage area here is, you know, it's easy to open and close. Unlike the BM, it's not open. This one here, you can hide stuff. I got my key in here. There is, of course, a wireless car charger. Put my phone in there. There's a USB-C port here. It's just one. 2 cup holders as well. Then there's additional storage here as well. and 2 more USB-C ports. There's even a little floating tray here which has a no smoking sign. Remember, you used to get cigarette packages back in the day. Then of course there's the sunroof. Yes, how can I forget that? Hey, look at that. This is not just a flex, just like a viewing deck like you have in the BMW. This is actually a sunroof that works. Oh, that's the furthest it opens. But at least I can sunroof my sunroof. At least. Far better than the BMW when it comes to that. In the back seat, similar storage here on the side by the door. And then here, it's a physical pouch which is covered, unlike the BMW which has a net. There is some storage here and there's a blank spot here. And what kills me with the blank spot here is it's a missed opportunity to have the USB-C ports. The BMW does have 2 USB-C ports here. What I do like about this car, there's proper air vents that I can control. The only thing is I'm not controlling independently as a back seat. I do have to call in a favor with the driver or the passenger to turn up the heat if need be. Now, let's look at this. Proper armrest, center seat belt for the center passenger, and the leather is incorporated with some suede or Alcantara as well, which gives it a nice feel to it. It's not all leather. So yeah, that's the back seat of the GLC 300D. And now we are in the driver's seat of the Lexus NX 450h Plus. It falls slap bang in the middle of the Mercedes-Benz as well as the BMW X3 30e. Price is 1.336 million rand. Yo, these are big numbers for executive SUVs. But how does the car feel overall? And what are you getting at that price? This is what you got to know. You're getting a 7-year, 105,000 kilometer warranty. And another thing, you got to talk about the battery, right, of this car. There you get an 8-year, 195,000 kilometer warranty. These things are obviously very important when you are trying to get a car like this because you are likely family orientated and or the after sales service. You don't want that type of stress. You want a smooth and easy life. And the H plus factor of the car. I mean, 1.3 liters per 100 kilometers. That's a good offering. It really is. In Cyril's economy, that's a damn good offering. The other things about the Lexus that makes it so unique is really cool things that the other cars don't have in this category. I mean, the rearview mirror can go completely digital. It's really cool. That's well engineered and well thought of. But how does it feel? Oh, very nice handling. Comfortable. In fact, these seats are so soft and absorbing. Out of all the other cars I've driven today, in this category that is, I think the Lexus has the most cushioned seats. Braking is also quite sharp. Steering wheel is also very soft as well. Unfortunately, you can quickly feel that this car has a CVT gearbox. And there's nothing wrong with CVT gearboxes. It's just that the other cars, Mercedes-Benz, their 9-speed automatic, and BMW with their 8-speed automatic, those shift seamlessly. The CVT at some points seems as though it's struggling. It's those points when I want to get a bit of quick power. And talking about power, I think it's worth also feeling out the driver modes. Love where that's located. Unlike the other cars, I have to quickly press here on the infotainment system to try and find what I need. This one, on the other hand, it's quite easy to find, and it's punchy on sport mode. So I've got Sport, Sports Plus, and Eco. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to go Eco. And this exercise is obviously feeling out the car's overall suspension, how it feels on rough terrain. and I'm going over these cobblestones, and look, it takes it well, but compared to Mercedes-Benz and BMW, it is a little rough. It's not as smooth as the Mercedes-Benz. I think out of the three cars on these surfaces, the Mercedes-Benz does it better, second is the BMW, and third is the Lexus. Now here's an interior you don't see quite often. This is the interior of the Lexus NX 450h Plus from the driver's side. I want to start off here and talk about the door handle. It is an electric door handle, which is very unique, right? It's not every day you see something like that. And the interior color of the car, contrast from red to black, looks very cool and quite modern. Very big infotainment system, and it's sort of integrated here to the digital driver display. There are some controls on the steering wheel as well, from your cruise control to your volume control, and of course your track selection. Opening the boot and opening the petrol or the fuel cap, it's just a touch of a button. The odometer reading or the odometer changing is oddly placed here. 2 buttons, very weird place to have them, but you can see them and they're quite easy to find. And then coming here to the center of the car, we got to talk a lot about what's going on here. There are legitimate knobs to, of course, do your heating and your cooling. Talking about heating and cooling, both the driver and passenger seats are ventilated and heated, and I've got a heated steering wheel as well. This car is very premium, very classy. The button for on off is not subtle. You can't miss it. They put it up here, but it's a bit awkward because you're used to having a button somewhere here or somewhere on the other side. So very oddly placed, but when you get used to it, easy to find. Now, here's something I need to mention. Between this car, the 300D GLC, as well as the X3, believe it or not, the X3's steering column control is manual. The rest of the cars, the Merc and the Lexus, look at that, it's electric. I remember what I said about the price point of these cars. Between 1 million rand and 1.6 million rand, you surely should have an electric steering column control. That's my 2 cents on that. That's my 2 cents. Let me continue taking you through the car. You have a USB and a USB-C port here. A little storage for my key. Like, the key fits perfect. Charging tray, wireless, of course. There we go. There's my phone charging. The nice thing about this is I can hide my phone. I can stash it quite easy. But you open there and you've got a 12-volt outlet. You've got 2 USB-C ports. This is where you control your driver modes from eco to sport and comfort. 2 cup holders, off-road settings are here, and also your EV settings are also here. So you can drive the car in EV mode for a bit. We've got a conventional and a very easy tilt and slide sunroof as well. Now, the back seat of the car actually feels a lot roomier than the other two. For some reason, I just feel like there's a lot more space in this car. If it had a bigger sunroof or a panoramic sunroof, I think it would even be bigger in just look and feel on the back seat. Anyway, it's still got the electric door handles, right? And now here, nice armrest, 2 cup holders, a real seat belt for the middle passenger, easy to control vents, but remember, you're gonna have to call in a favor with the driver if you want a cooler temperature. And then down here, 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet as well. Then of course you've got a little pocket here to put in what you need to put in. And just to take note as well, this part, or the center part of the car, the Lexus has the lowest part, meaning moving from one side of the car to the other is way easier in the Lexus versus the Mercedes-Benz and the BMW.
Now for the ultimate test of the executive SUVs, because people give a damn about boot space. 520 liters. 620 liters. 460 liters of space. Now, after a hard day of driving these cars back to back, I definitely have my firm favorite, or the one that's likely to win this executive SUV category. For instance, to drop the seats of this car, you have to do it manually. On the Mercedes-Benz, it's electric. On the Lexus, it's also unfortunately done manually. When it comes to things like a spare wheel, this car doesn't have a spare wheel. It comes with your obvious run-flat tires. On the Mercedes-Benz, it has a full-size spare wheel, while on the Lexus, there's not even a tire puncture repair kit. So by the time you watch this video, we'll all be waiting to hear the results of which car will win in this category. And that will be happening at the end of February at the Cars.co.za Awards. I think it's obvious. My firm favorite and the one that's likely to take this category is definitely the Mercedes-Benz GLC 300D. I think it wins hands down. But hey, that's just my opinion as a judge. I cannot wait to see who actually wins this category. Okay, we're done.
What's the car with Cars.co.za? Meet on the move Roxy. Her perfect car has a cup holder that fits her oversized color-coded sippy cup. Now think of a car, any car. Yes, we have it. Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.